Welcome back. It's Thursday the 25th, and weather-wise, got to be honest, we've fared quite well. Temperatures have been up there, but it has not felt as bad and as sticky and muggy as what we had expected. I say that with this tagged at the end of it. The program was taped earlier today in lieu of the fact that the McGoffin County Fiscal Court had a special session set for 3:30. A rather lengthy agenda. I'm also expecting possible some lengthy discussion concerning the budget, which two of the magistrates and the judge and another magistrate have been a bit back and forth on. So in an effort to make sure that we have a camera there on time, as my other videographers run other assignments or out of town, we're going to do this a little bit earlier today. So I'm expecting that temperatures did indeed rise, but still not to the degree that we were expecting today to have to bear with. That is good news. Maybe even, depending on what you're looking for, some good news as we start to look ahead. It's that time of year where we can get a little more of an educated guess as to what the summer months of July and August may hold. An interesting topic there. So we'll talk about tomorrow the coverage of the McGoffin County Fiscal Court meeting. It's also tomorrow that I and Lacey's mother and her little brother will be going to pick her up after she has been at Lindsey Wilson College for the Rogers Scholarship Program all week long. So we have to be there for a ceremony at noon. So tomorrow morning, another show taped bright and early, but complete coverage of today's McGoffin County Fiscal Court meeting. And I expect a lot of business contained therein. So that's our schedule for the next couple of days. Still plenty of news, but just to kind of let you know. Tonight's headlines will include a few more drug-related arrests. No surprise there, and perhaps sadly no surprise that one of them involves a minor in the vehicle. And your 4th of July schedule of events for McGoffin County will get Paintsville and Johnson County and everyone else very soon. But the one in Sayersville actually starts this Saturday, and it is a different schedule completely, start to finish, from the schedules that we usually have each and every year. I'll talk more about that in just a few moments because you'll certainly want to make note. And you might even be able to take in a few festivals or a few 4th of July events throughout the holiday period. And I'm making a note of something else I want to tell you about in just a few seconds on that note. We'll get to all those headlines and others, but first we have to talk about the Supreme Court, as it's a national story. It pertains to everyone across the nation, certainly who is on Obamacare or who may be. The Supreme Court today, in a decision of 6-3, upheld Obamacare subsidies across the nation, marking the second major court victory for the president. The court ruled that the subsidies are valid even in states that did not set up their own insurance exchanges. Had the Supreme Court ruled the other way, it would have threatened millions and millions of dollars in subsidies in over half of the nation and threatened possibly even the existence of the program in and of itself. While the president is urging critics after this second win for him to move on, saying the Affordable Care Act is here to stay, Republicans, many and most, are vowing to keep the fight up against Obamacare, saying it is just, quote, fundamentally broken, increasing health care costs for millions of Americans. House Speaker John Boehner said just that, adding that we will continue our efforts to repeal the law and replace it with a patient-centered solution that meets the needs of seniors, small business owners, and middle-class families. In 2012, in the first victory for Obamacare, the Supreme Court upheld the law's individual mandate, that in a little narrow, or much narrower decision at 5-4. This time, the justices considered the law's tax credits and ruled that subsidies that 8.7 million people currently get do not depend on where they live. Now, nationally, a little more than 10 million people have signed up for health care insurance under the Obama health overhaul. That includes about 8.5 million people who are receiving an average subsidy of about $270 a month to help pay their insurance premiums. Of those who are getting those subsidies, about 6.5 million were at risk of losing that aid because they live in states that did not set up their own health insurance exchanges. Republicans, as I said, sharply criticizing this decision as soon as it was revealed today. Both of Kentucky's state senators are repeatedly speaking sharply about the law. Senator Rand Paul said in part, quote, he continues to vow to work to repeal the law if elected as president, and that the Supreme Court decision turns both the rule of law and common sense on its head. Meanwhile, Senator Mitch McConnell said, quote, the ruling won't change Obamacare's spectacular flops, skyrocketing premiums, deductibles, and copays. Local headlines will start next with some drug-related arrests in Sayersville recently, and then, of course, more news to follow. Please stay with us.
There's an unlimited selection of new and pre-owned vehicles right at your fingertips with 9 acres of inventory and 7 different franchises all at one location. Hutch, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Call Chevy, Buick, and GMC at 297-4066 or Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram at 297-5066. Where selection, satisfaction, and service after you're sold are all guaranteed. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband.
Sangersville City Police Officer Mike Nichols requested some assistance after a traffic stop night before last here in Sangersville due to the fact primarily that there were several occupants in the car that he stopped for erratic driving. It was that traffic stop that would net in 3 arrests, one the driver and mother of a 2-year-old child who was also in the car.
Also in the car, about 100 pills, various drug paraphernalia, a plate, some other items used to snort pills, to which at least 2 of the occupants says Nichols admitted to doing. The female driver was identified as a Pikeville woman who was said to be under the influence. Nichols says that the vehicle pulled out into the Sangersville area, and he was behind it, noticed the vehicle driving erratically, and upon making a traffic stop, noticed that she exhibited some slurred speech. She seemed to be impaired. He called for assistance with the Kentucky State Police. They conducted various field sobriety tests, which she failed, and was subsequently arrested. Chastity Potter was charged with driving under the influence, aggravated circumstances, second offense, also failure to produce insurance card, failure to produce registration, and wanton endangerment in the second degree. The aggravated circumstance and the wanton endangerment pertaining to the 2-year-old child that was in the vehicle. Social services were called, and a family member from Pikeville did come to take custody of the child. She was also said to be one of several individuals which were in possession of a total of about 100 different pills. They were found in various locations in an envelope, stuffed in what appeared to be some sort of a garbage bag. A couple of pill bottles that Nichols identified as being stolen from a family member containing hydrocodone and Xanax were also said to have been in the vehicle. She admitted to snorting pills, hydrocodone at some point, and smoking marijuana prior to the traffic stop. Also admitting to be under the influence was her boyfriend, who was in the passenger seat, Josh Harrison, also from Pike County, we are told, who was served with an outstanding bench warrant, as well as being charged with public intoxication for being under the influence of the pills, possession of a controlled substance in the 3rd degree, a prescription not in its proper container, 2 different counts, also 2 counts of possession of a controlled substance and possession of drug paraphernalia. They were both still lodged in the Big Sandy jail as of airtime. There was a 3rd individual, a second male, who was also in the vehicle. He too was arrested but had since bonded out of the Big Sandy jail.
The 4th of July is just around the corner for Sangersville. It officially begins this Saturday. You know, I think I know a lot of things, and I'm often corrected, and that's nothing new. I can get over it on a daily basis. But I was relatively sure and did confirm today that the 4th of July hasn't fallen on a Saturday since 1998, which means since I've been doing this program, which started in November of 98, there's not been a 4th of July that actually fell on a Saturday's date, if my investigation is correct, and we'll leave it at that. I say that to say this. When it falls, of course, depicts when celebrations and activities and fireworks are going to be held. Getting a 4th of July fireworks display actually on the 4th is quite daunting because the date is always filled up years ahead, and it's also sometimes a little more expensive. That's a few of the reasons that the fireworks display in Sangersville this year around will be on a Friday night and not the traditional Saturday as it has been for, well, my existence here in this program. And actually, with everything kind of being shaken up, the pageants, the ever-popular firecracker pageants and other pageants, mind you, will take place this Saturday at the log cabins in Sangersville.
I just received a complete itinerary from Jency Bailey, of course, the Renaissance manager, who I'm also being informed has found another place of employment. She's going to be greatly, greatly missed. She served in her capacity so well. We hate to see her go. That's a topic for another discussion, as they'll be finding a replacement, I'm sure, sometime. But she's still there as of now and was so gracious to forward me the following schedule. So it's this Saturday here in Sagersville, the Miss and Master Firecracker pageants, the Miss and Mrs. Magoffin County pageants, the Miss Classic Magoffin County pageant. All will begin at 6 o'clock, and these will take place on the cabin stage here in Sagersville at the Prater's Fort Cabin Complex. 6 o'clock this Saturday. Now, that is the only thing 4th of July related that's happening this weekend, but then come Friday the 3rd, it all kicks into high gear too. And with the fireworks taking place on Friday the 3rd instead of on the Saturday of the 4th of July holiday, they've moved the traditional watermelon social up a bit, and it's going to start a bit later because there's also going to be some live music, and all this is going to be right in the midst of what will be a big monster crowd, I think, in the Rainy Park and Sagersville area. So the watermelon social, which means you get free watermelon and free fun. Bring your lawn chair or a blanket because you'll want to stick around for the watermelon through the fireworks, but also because Kyle Douglas Band is going to be performing for the Sagersville Renaissance 4th of July Watermelon Social. How cool is that? Now, of course, you know who Kyle is. You've seen his music here, and it promises to be a great 4th of July show. So the Watermelon Social will start at 7. Kyle Douglas Band will start sometime thereafter and wrap up, I guess, right around the time the fireworks will start to ramp up. So we expect fireworks right around 9:45. Kyle Douglas may take to the stage. I'm not sure, 8 o'clock, 8-ish thereafter. We'll find out more, but it's definitely going to be a nice evening of watermelon, music, and fireworks all Friday the 3rd. That, of course, is 1 week from tomorrow. That's not to say that there's not a lot happening on Saturday, the actual 4th of July. Indeed, there is on the 4th of July. The 4th of July Parade, the annual event, starts at 1. Streets will close in downtown Sagersville at noon. The normal lineup spots of the Magoffin County Funeral Home and Joy Global, of course, will be utilized. And then they are bringing back the street dance to the downtown streets of Sagersville at 8 o'clock in front of the courthouse there in the streets. They'll have traffic routed around. Live music by the Joseph family. Wendell Hoskins will be calling the dance. And, of course, each and every one of these events are open and free to the public. Free watermelon. They usually have some water as well. Bring your blanket. Bring your lawn chair for that. And then bring yourself to the parade on Saturday and the downtown street dance. Weather-wise for the 4th of July, I can't talk about precipitation as of right now. It's a little far out. But temperatures could be quite favorable. And I've got a little more to elaborate on that in just a few moments. More headlines to come, and possibly some coverage of today's session of the Magoffin County Fiscal Court. But for now, it's on to your Magoffin County Community Calendar. Magoffin County Farm Bureau-sponsored community calendar. I'm getting tongue-tied looking at that face. All together now. Aww. Happy first birthday, Mackenzie. Love Mama and Papa, Mommy, aunts, uncles, and cousins. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you. Couple of quick reminders on tonight's community calendar. The Magoffin County Head Start program is taking applications for the fall school year, which will be here before you know it. Feels like summer's just now getting started, and we're already talking about it being over. Nevertheless, get your application in now before the slots are full, moms and dads. 349-3488 is the number to call, or drop by the Head Start office during Monday through Friday. And remember that the St. Luke's Catholic Church is a special invitation for everyone this Sunday. They have a special day set aside to celebrate the blessing and dedication of their new church. It starts at 2 o'clock. Bishop John Stone will be there. They'd love to have you with them for their official dedication of the new St. Luke's Church here in Sagersville, Magoffin County. And I'd always love to have your announcement, birthday, anniversary, or otherwise. Send it to us any way you can. Mail, phone, fax, email, Facebook at Ritt or Mortimer, or drop it off here at the newsroom. And remember, you can always catch programming the following day on yournewstoday.com. There will be a celebration of life service in Sagersville on this Saturday in honor of Paul Douglas Wireman, 79, of Stafford, Virginia, who passed away on March the 9th. Formerly of Magoffin County, he was the son of the late Abe Wireman and Irene Stevens. He's survived by son Stephen Douglas Wireman and daughter Lisa Renee Butkin. The service will be at the Magoffin County Funeral Home at 11 o'clock this Saturday and conclude at the Stevens Wireman Cemetery at Royalton. Local arrangements are under the care of the Magoffin County Funeral Home. 43-year-old Tony Ray Fletcher of Gun Creek Road passed away on the 23rd, the son of Dwayne Fletcher and Mary Sue Gibson. He's survived by a daughter, Gabriella Nicole Fletcher, and sons Tony Dwayne and Sean Armson, I believe it is, Fletcher. My apologies. Visitation is after 6 o'clock on Friday, all day Saturday, and prior to services, they're set for Sunday at 2. Visitation and services from the McGoffin County Funeral Home with burial afterwards at the Stevens Wireman Cemetery at Royalton. And one last announcement, and it comes in loving memory of Sean William Puckett, greatly loved and missed by his family, who've been without him 11 years today. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband.
Now, I'm leaving a bit of a slot here at the end of the program just in case the McGoffin County Fiscal Court meeting that started at 3:30 did not take as long as I was expecting. We have a camera there, and that was where I was trying to get out to earlier. So if we're a bit brief in a minute, and I'm literally saying this before the meeting even starts, so we'll see how that pans out in just a few seconds. Regardless, we'll have complete coverage on tomorrow's program. So let's talk about your weather forecast now and in the future. In the future, we're talking about July and August, of course, some of the hottest months of the summer, of course. This time around, though, maybe not.
Even if the latest temperature forecast for July through September is accurate, I mean, it's still a maybe not situation for the viewing area because, as we often do, we're on that line. This line being below average and above average, so there you go. But a great swath of the United States, the majority of the central part of this nation, the very heart of which will be much below average at the core, but for the lighter blue there, you can see a lot of folks, and that may include us, could be in for some below average temperatures, the likes of which we've got in the forecast for the time being. The next 3 months are expected to feature some relatively cool conditions in the central states, while the west endures more above average warmth, which they don't need, of course, with the drought that's going on in California and the west coast. This all according to a late summer temperature forecast for July, August, and September. This one put together by the Weather Channel Professional Division and released this week. The worst of the late summer's heat compared to average is forecast to be in parts of California, Nevada, and Oregon, and Washington, Idaho, western Montana. The hot and dry conditions just worsening what's already going on there. Chief meteorologists say, though, that as in June, they expect the most significant July heat to happen in the Pacific Northwest, a long-term pattern there. East of the Rockies, the central states and northeast are forecast to be below average temperatures in July and August, typically two of the hottest months of the year. Although the July-September period is forecast to be above average overall in the northeast, this is largely driven by the expectation of much warmer than average conditions in September. The cooler than average temperatures would be driven by southward dips in the jet stream across the central and eastern states, similar to the weather pattern expected now at the end of June. Speaking of which, you can find those temperatures in our forecast as they have been for the past couple of days. And those are the temperatures that, even going along with that map and prior predictions here in the show, we're expecting to see possibly for a ways to come. Now, today, we did top out at 90 degrees. Tonight, we'll fall back to 68. Mostly cloudy skies later on, and the chance of showers and thunderstorms is late, mainly between 11 p.m. 2 a.m. That's our best bet. It's going to be a nice end to the evening. I think we'll continue to see some sunshine and some clouds out there, but we'll see the showers hold off until late tonight. We do have a cold front making its way into the viewing area and across Kentucky and over Kentucky, and that does give us a chance for some severe weather late tonight and some showers and storms into your Friday. That warrants your attention during the overnight. Then we'll see some rain set in. Friday temperatures should hover right around 86 degrees, a low of 67. 57, mostly cloudy, and that rain Friday combined with some more showers, maybe for at least the first part of your Saturday, will go a long way to also helping alongside this front keep temperatures in check. 75 on your Saturday, and I think the end of your Saturday will be much nicer than the beginning, and it might even be dry with a little sunshine even, keeping fingers crossed. A low of 58, and then on Sunday, clear, partly cloudy late at the most, but check it out, 74 and mostly sunny, and that could be the start of that pattern that we are looking at right now with temperatures staying below average. Now, it's not going to stay that way for more than a couple of days at this time, but it is the overall pattern that we could see intermittently, maybe even more than what we would expect throughout the summer months. Monday, we do recover back to around 80 degrees, which is still nice and mild. Mostly sunny. With that, we do see a 30% chance of some showers and storms Monday night and into your Tuesday. That's our next weather maker. We're still in the upper 70s, mostly cloudy skies and showers and storms. We will see the low 80s return again by Wednesday, but not a big spike in the temperatures there, or maybe even soon thereafter. And we have now reached the point where I left a slot open for some potential McGoffin County Fiscal Court coverage. Remember, I taped this earlier, and if you're watching this portion and hearing me now, that means that I did not come back and re-record over this final portion of the show. That means that we'll have all of that news tomorrow.
And it looks as though for once, or twice possibly, I was correct in thinking that the McGoffin County Fiscal Court meeting would last a bit longer, a lengthy agenda, and I was expecting some lengthy discussion as it pertains to the budget proposal, which the second reading of which was planned today. If they don't get a budget finalized, that could mean some serious implications and some involvement on a state level. So we'll have a report for you on tomorrow's program. I'll be in here bright and early putting that together, taping it early, so once again I can go pick up Lacey along with her family at, well, actually in Somerset, but at Lindsey Wilson College. So nevertheless, I've got a lot of work between the time that I see you next, so be sure and join us then for more of your news today. But for now, thank you for watching.